How do you support anxious staff come back into work during the pandemic? Well, if that's a challenge you're facing, then today's 2 minute top tip is going to help you out. So, everyone is in a different place when it comes to the level of risk we're willing to accept during the pandemic, and that's really understandable. At the same time, you need to run a school and you want as many of your staff, all of your staff, back in to teach your children, but at the same time, you want to look after your staff. So, a technique I'd like to share with you that makes up today's top tip is the use of scaling. This is really nice because it helps someone unpick what would make a difference for them. So, the way it works is we create a scale, 1 to 10. And with the person who's anxious, we can say, okay, so if this is a scale where 10 is you are really comfortable to come back in to school and you feel safe and able to, and 1 is absolutely not, you don't want to come into school. Where would you put yourself now? And they can give a score. Ask what makes it as high as that. Even if it's a 2, it's not a 1. Yeah? And then you can break down what would move it higher at each point on that scale. So what would make it a 3, a 4, a 5? Yeah, at what point would you feel comfortable? And then you'll be able to see what are the component parts that allow someone to feel comfortable to come back into work. Now, really important in this is things that they can control. So when you're scaling and you're coming up with these ideas, check that, is that something that's within your control? Because if it's not, then there's only so much we can do. In fact, if it's not in their control, there's nothing we can really do, is there? Yes, it needs to be stuff either in their control or in your control that will move them up through the scale. And that can just take a set of, really confusing and churning emotions and anxieties and break them down into logical steps that allow us to step back and think, okay, actually, if that stuff was in place, and it can be in place, I'd be at a 7, and at a 7, I feel really comfortable. Give it a go, let me know, and I really hope it helps you and your team during this still uncertain and challenging time.